Hello everyone. Welcome once again to an exciting video. So by now I hope you all are using the agentic AI. If not, please let me know in the comment box. I'll let you know how you can create the agentic AI. So if you are using the agentic AI, I must you will be using the tools, right? So first let's understand what is agentic AI, right? So suppose we are having an LLM, right? So OpenAI, right? We are having this LLM, and once you so what are the restrictions of this LLM, right? So this LLM can give you or generate data which this data is trained on, but if you want this uh, LLM to search on the web, you cannot. If you want it calls another APIs, external APIs, it cannot, right? So for that, what you do, you create some tools, right? You create different tools for it, like this is the web search, right? So let me reduce. So this is for web search. This is for calling external API, and this is for something else, right? So calling like Google G Drive, something like this, right? So you give access for these tools to the LLM. So what happens? So once you give the input, right? What happens? Uh, this input will go to the LLM, and now this LLM is already having access to the tools, right? So what will happen, this LLM, along with these tools, LLM will take your input and search, right? Based on that, it will use one of the tools and give you response back. So what is the problem over here, right? So the main problem is you are loading the tools for each and every request, right? So what you are doing, for suppose you are doing one request, right? You load all this tool, then send it to LLM, and then again what will happen, you will do some chat and all those things. So again and again this tool load. So what happens if tool loads and again? So what is the problem, right? So the problem is it takes more space in context, right? So this is the main problem, right? What is the problem? It takes more space in the context window. So for each and every LLM, right, we have fixed context window. And if your input is taking more context window, so what you are doing, you are increasing the cost. So more token means more space in the context window. What it will do, it will increase the token, right? It will increase the number of tokens. So if the number of token will be increased, what will happen, it will increase the dollar amount. So the main problem over here is we need to decrease these tools. Now suppose making a small agentic flow, you use 2 or 3 tools or 4 tools, but in real life applications, for the enterprise grade applications, we have 400, 500 kinds of tools, right? Now assume that all 4 500 tools loads for your single input, how much cost it will increase, right? So this is the main problem over here. Now let's understand with the analogy, right? So what happens, suppose in your house you have problem with electricity, right? In your house, now you call one mechanic, right? You call one mechanic that I have a problem with an electricity. So now what will happen, this mechanic will come to your house now to fix the issue. Now what, in the traditional way, what this mechanic will do, so it will bring all the tools, right, with him. Now you call the mechanic, right? So mechanic will come to your house to fix this, right? So what mechanic did, it bring all his tools, right? Not only electric tools, plumbing as well, brings gardening tool as well, right? So now suppose how much bulky it becomes, right? uh, his bag, right? Every time he has to bring all the tools, even to fix the single issue. Now in the latest word, what will happen, if you call this mechanic, right, he will come with the truck, all these tools are loaded in the truck, right? All the tools is loaded in the truck, right? He just bring all the things, he come with the truck, all the tools are loaded in the truck. He will come and check with you that, hey, what is the problem over here? Now he will come back and bring only electric tool with him and then serve it. Now you understand that how how lightweight it is, right? So it is very lightweight once you use the latest feature. Now I hope you understand the context, right? So in the current situation, what happens when you try to use the tools, or when you call the LLM which is having tool access, it the LLM tries to load the all the tools, right? And it makes your context window fill, and based on that it will generate more input tokens. So the input token will increase more, and once the token will increase, it will charge you more, right? So this is the main problem, and we have understood with this analogy what happens nowadays, right, with the tool search feature. So let's go to the OpenAI first, and let's see how it works, right? So what is the traditional uh, tool calling, and what is the newer version of tool search, right? How they are defining it. So if I go here and let me go to the function calling, right? This is how you create the tools, right? Tool functionality you give to the models, right? If you come down, so what happens when the developers call, right? So like suppose you are calling a weather API, so get weather API definite tool definition plus message will be loaded, right? And then the tool will be called like get weather, and then it will execute. And this is what the traditional way of function calling, right? So you can see that we have OpenAI over here, and then we are creating a tool, right? How you are creating a tool, and then you are loading this tool over here in the prompt, and then you are getting the response. But in this way, you are expending more tokens, right? So let's see the newer version of uh, tools. So what it is like, functions are usually declared in the tools parameter with each API request. With tool search, your application can also load deferred function later in the interaction. Either way, each callable function uses the same schema shape. The function defines has the following, means you are not going to change how the function will be defined, how the tools will be defined, right? You will be adding few more parameters to it so that the functions will be loaded dynamically, right? What all the function will be needed, it will load dynamically. You will not load it upfront, right? So let me go here. So this is the tool search, right? So one thing to read, I would highly request you to read this line. Tool search allows the model to dynamically search for a tool, load into the model context as needed, right? This allow you to avoid loading all the tool definition into the model context upfront, and may help reduce overall token usage and cost, right? So this is for optimal cost and latency. Tool search is designed to preserve the model cache. All right. So when new tools are discovered by the model, they will inject it at the end of the context window. Right. So this is how. So one thing to notice over here: tool search is available only in GPT-5 and the later models, like to support tool search. Now you can read this how to activate tool search. So let me go to the definition. So what happens? So you can see that we are creating a namespace. One more important thing, right? We'll come to the namespace. So here is a tool like we are defining. So if you notice here, we are defining a type function, name of the tool, right? All this parameter and all this, I believe you are already familiar. So one thing extra what you need to add is this type. This is type tool search, right? And what extra thing, one more thing you can add is namespace. So now what is namespace, right? So let's understand the namespace, right? So if I go to my board, so namespace is nothing a folder in which you segregate the files, which type of files you will put in. So suppose you have defined some tools, right? Some different types of tools, and then we have some different types of tools like some this kind of tools. Just I'm why I'm creating is like this way, just to understand, right? So I'll give you the analogy. Suppose this tool belongs to the users, right? And this tool belongs to the cart, right? So this type of tool belongs to the uh, cart, right? Now we have again different type of tool. Suppose like uh, like a triangle tool which belongs to this shopping list or something, tracking, right? So let me write tracking over here, right? Now what you will do, as of now they all are scattered. Now what we are doing, we are creating a folder such like this, right? So these tools are as of now scattered, right? Some randomly here, this tool may be here or here or here. So what is the scattering means? Scattering means you are not defining the namespace, you are not defining in which folder it is, right? Now what you will do, you will put all the users related tool, right? You will put all the users related tool in one folder, right? You will put all the users related tool in one folder. Same way you will put all the cart related tool in one folder, right? Like you put everything in your PCs, right? So you can segregate, movies will go in one folder, and so reading materials will go in another folder, lectures will go in different folder, text will go in different folder. So this way you define the namespace, right? Now what is the namespace of this is users. Now what is the namespace of this is cart, right? So you defined that. So what is the benefit of defining this namespace? So the benefit of defining namespace is, so whenever the user wants to look or to query about the users, the the tool will automatically search in the users only, right? Not it will not search all the tools, it will search only user related tools. So now understand how it will improve the efficiency, right? Your token will cost will be reduced, your efficiency will be improved, right? Your latency will decrease. So how you are optimizing and performing these things, right? So how we are defining the namespace, right? So you can see, we once we are defining the tool, we are defining the type is namespace. Now we are defining the CRM, right? So this belongs to the CRM. Same way, if you want something like users, so what you can do, so let me copy this here, right? So suppose this is what it is, right? So suppose you want to define one more namespace, right? So I'm not sure if I can copy this. So let me open any JSON uh, right here. So this is one uh, namespace, right? So this is CRM. Now, if you want to define another namespace, right? So what you can do, Command C and then Command V, right? So instead of you, what you can do, you can say users, and then you can write the description, users tool for users lookup and for users lookup and management, right? Something like this. Now function list users, right? Something like this, list users. So, and if you want more tools inside this, what you can do, you can duplicate this here, right? Create users, create users, right? So this is how you define the namespace, right? Now you can see that in the namespace users, right? We have only user related functions, right? Or we have only users related tools. So in this way, when the LLM wants to search about users, it will directly comes to the users section. So this is how you can decrease the latency, improve the performance, right? And decrease the cost as well, right? Now one thing to notice, right? So you can see here, right? So we are having CRM, we are creating functions, something like this in this. And one thing, right? So you can use type. So if you want to use this kind of feature, tool search, then definitely you need to pass this at the end or in the starting or wherever in the tool. You need to pass type tool search, right? So this type of response you will get over here. Now this is again of two type, right? One is hosted tool search and another one is where is the another one? Yeah, client executed load tool search, right? So now I'm not going too much in the details. I just wanted you to understand the concept, what is tool search, right? If you want me to go in the details, please comment down below. I'll definitely create another video for the same, right? Now I would give this link in the description as well, so that you can uh, read this documentation. Now to recap, so in the traditional approach, what happens whenever you call the LLM or try to invoke the LLM, if it has access to the tools, right? So it will load the schema of all the tools in the LLM, which result in increase the input tokens, right? How? Because it will increase the context window, which will result in the higher cost. Now what happens when you try to invoke the LLM in the tool search way, right? So whenever you invoke the LLM will not load all the tools schema upfront, right? So it will be loaded dynamically whenever the tool schema is needed or whenever the tool is needed, right? Then only it will try to fetch that particular tool. Also, what we are doing, we are making a namespace, right? So we are segregating we or what we can say, we are categorizing the tools also, right? So like users tool, cards tool, tracking tool, shopping tool, right? So we are categorizing the tools as well. So based on the user query, it will look into that particular tool. So what it does, it basically increase the efficiency of your tools, right? The latency will be decreased, right? The cost will be decreased, right? The performance will be improved. So this is how this new tool search will be implemented. One thing to notice, that it will work only above GPT-4, GPT 5.4, right? And you need to mention tool search in the tools option like this way, right? And you need to create the namespace. And here is the disclaimer, right? So this is only effective if your tools are more than like 50 or something around more than 50 plus. If your tools are less than 50 or like approximately 10 or 20, do not try to use this. It will increase the cost, because to save the metadata and other informations, it requires some context, right? And then again, it will increase the cost if you are using this for the lower number of tools. So in the enterprise, generally what happens, we have more than like 100 plus tools. So at that point of time, this feature will be effective and very helpful. But if you are having less number of tools like 10, 20 or 30, do not use this. It will increase your cost. If you like this video and wanted to be updated on the trending and latest Gen AI related topics and the system design, don't forget to hit subscribe button. And also, if you like this, hit the like button, and we'll meet you in the next video. Till then, have a great day. Bye bye.